Hey, how's it going, guys? And welcome to the second podcast. So I'm here with Hector again.
Dude, the second podcast. This is insane.
Okay, so I think the first thing we want to talk about in this is the absolute great feedback we got on the first podcast. It has over 280 views now and almost 218.
That's insane. That is insane.
Honestly, almost 218 minutes of watch time, and so. We weren't expecting it to get that at all. Like, I was hoping for 30 views, maybe.
Yeah, same.
So,
but like 280?
And
that's insane.
Just under a week, too. Well, I guess just over a week, not under a week. But yeah, so apparently you guys like the podcasts, and we're still going to be doing that. We still would have done them either way, because this is actually, like, super fun for us, so...
Yeah, it is really fun to be able to like tell stories and people actually like them, like to listen to them.
And you know, just like gives my subscribers like a little bit of an insight into like mine and yours lives and stuff. So it's kind of fun, you know. And so, with us leaving the last podcast, we talked a lot about gaming. So let's just kind of keep a little bit on that side. But first, before we start talking about games and stuff and all that, let's explain the name of the video or of the podcast. Why we're calling it the Krusteazy podcast. So Hector,
You want to start this off?
I guess so. Yeah, Hector had come over to my mom's at one point, and I was bored, and I was hungry as well, and we found this pancake mix, which it's Krusteazy, which is actually like supposed to be like a really reputable brand and stuff.
Yeah.
And so what happened was I started trying to make pancakes, and they turned out like terrible. I think I have a picture somewhere, but they were all misshapen, and they all had like these jagged edges, and they tasted terrible.
They were disgusting. Like, they were actual crust.
Yeah, I think that's just because I'm bad at making pancakes, and so that's why we're calling it the Krusteazy, because, you know, the Krusteazy, and then Y for copyright purposes, you know, man. And we're the Krusteazy boys now, and so I don't know what else we can really talk about. That is just you know what happened. There's
guys, and I want to say, one podcast and 11 subscribers, that's insane. Like, insane.
And that's only in 7 days. 7 to 8 days, actually, but because that's all we've had the channel up, because we uploaded the first podcast right after we uploaded the channel.
Yeah.
And then at that point, I already had one on my main channel. And that's just insane. Like, just totally, I want to thank everybody who went out and watched the video.
You actually got 69 views. That's insane.
And just, like, went out and watched the video, and because it's already got, like, 10 likes and stuff as well, so. Also, if you do leave a like, that would be much appreciated on this one and in the other one, because that really actually does help us. A lot of people don't really know what it does, but it puts us in the recommended of some other people's videos and stuff, like, or if somebody's watching, it'll put our video in the recommended, and it'll just show up more often for other people. So it really helps with like getting the video out to you guys and stuff. So, like I said though, last podcast we kind of started on where we were kind of on the gaming side and like how our childhood was, and so if we like merge those two together, we're gonna talk about how we got into gaming in general. I'm gonna let Hector go first. How'd you get into gaming, my dude?
I pretty much got into gaming. The first game I actually played that I actually really got into was Grand Theft Auto 5. And I played this on Xbox 360 when it like first came out. And I played that a lot, and then I finally like got online, which was even way better than story mode. Like, it was just way better.
I don't play story mode on GTA, man.
I don't either. I used to, but that's what got me into the game. I used to grind. It was insane. And then I got addicted to this game called The Sims, which you also play on PS4.
Yeah.
Or on Xbox 360.
Yeah, I remember messing around on that with you. Now we mess around on Sims 4.
I pretty much like when I met you, we pretty much like we played more. I play more than what I used to, a lot more.
Yeah. And I got into gaming because, like, when I was a kid, I got into gaming, let's say, I don't know, probably when I was 6, maybe a little younger. But we had a PS2 that I think we got for Christmas or something, or my dad had just gotten it at some point. And one of the first games I remember, actually one of the first 2 games I remember playing is Crash Bandicoot, the second one specifically, and Spyro the Dragon, the first one, out of the trilogy. And boy, do I remember those so well. Those games were amazing when I was a kid. And, I mean, they still are and stuff. And, you know, with, like, the Reignited trilogy and the Insane trilogy, which I have the Insane trilogy. I've been playing it on the PS4 quite a bit, honestly. The nostalgia is real, man. And then my dad, like, got a PSP, which I actually ruined because, you know, me being a little kid, I tried to take it into the bathtub, so... there's that. Yeah. And so my dad, he got another PSP. Like, he has one right now that he doesn't let anybody touch except him. And I don't blame him, honestly. And then we got a PS3. Me and my brother, we shared this PS3 for the longest time, probably till I was 11. And then we got I guess when I was 10, we got this PC. And then me and Trey had shared it for a little while. We just like switch accounts on Steam. And then I really got into PC gaming right around just a couple months right after we got the PC. I started getting into it, and I'd actually got into more of the like PC gaming side when I had a laptop. I had Steam on it, and I got BeamNG Drive, which BeamNG Drive was the first game I got on Steam, and it was August sometime of 2015. I don't know why I remember that so well. And then I got into PC gaming when we got that PC, like I said, and we moved it into my room because at that point it was in my dad's, and then we moved into Rachel's old house, which was actually it wasn't even way away. It was like pretty close to where I am now. But I had that one, and Trey never really played on it all too much. I was playing on it like all the time, which I'm sure is why Trey never played on it too much. But yeah, I got into PC gaming, and honestly, if you were talking about like games that have been like the most influential to us, what do you think that game is for you?
Influential? What do you mean by influential?
Like it's changed your life the most, or something, or like it's like switched you into gaming or something.
Call of Duty has really switched me into gaming, like a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I used to be into it so much.
On the PS3, we had so many different Call of Duties. I can't even list them all. We had Modern Warfare 2, 3. We had a bunch of them. I'm not even going to try and list them. And Modern Warfare 2, I played like nonstop. I would redo the campaign, and I played multiplayer a lot. And one of my favorite modes was the survival in the third Modern Warfare. And I think just in general, like I still play it on my PC and stuff. One of the most influential games that has like changed my life so much is Skyrim, because it's just such a good game. And like, ironically enough, despite having it on the PS3 for probably 4 years now, and also having it on the PC now, I've actually only like fully completed the main story once because I'm so sidetracked with all the side quests that's in the game. There's so many side quests and stuff. So, anything you want to talk about? Any special games to you or something? Any that have like sentimental value? I don't know.
I really want to talk about like how Call of Duty went from really good to trash and then back to better.
I know
like,
it's going back to better now, but like Infinite Warfare and
that was trash too.
Yeah, I got it because
I have
actually
World War II.
Yeah. Actually, our PS4 came with Infinite Warfare. That's how Dad got it.
So did mine.
And so, honestly, I don't play anything other than zombies on it. But the Infinite Warfare zombies is pretty fun. So, Hector knows,
Yeah, I
because like I
remember
would
I
always.
got you addicted to that.
Yeah, he brought his PS4 over this one time, and we started playing Infinite Warfare Zombies, and like now, like every other day, I'd ask him like, "You want to come over and play Infinite Warfare Zombies or something?" I was like, I got addicted to that, and now I don't even play it all that much. Now that I have it, but if we're talking like sentimental value of games, like I said, Spyro and Crash, really, those are like the only two that have like any true sentimental value, because those two got me into gaming from the start.
I want to talk about how did you get into playing guitar? Because I know you're still learning. If you're getting
I'm learning guitar, and we've got quite a few things if we want to talk about the guitar. I'm learning to play guitar, and I started getting into playing guitar because my dad, he had started playing guitar again, because my dad, he has played guitar for 40-something years now. He's been playing since he was 6, and so, he's really good. I'm not even mildly close to anything that he can do, so, but Dad, like I said, he's been doing it for 40 years. I've been doing it for 3 months, if that. So, but I've learned a couple songs. I can play like Country Roads. I can play Falling Down. There's a song called Wonderful Tonight by Eric Clapton. I can play a couple of songs, but not all too many. And then I got into like really playing when Dad, he had, like I said, he'd gotten back in because he started another band, or he didn't start it, but like he got into another band with a couple of his old bandmates, I think, as well. And so, he started pulling out the guitars and stuff, and I started learning. I don't know, I just kind of asked, and now I have this one over here, and this red one. It's really nice as well. And if we want to talk about, do you play any instruments, actually, Hector?
Me, actually? No, but I really want to learn how to play piano.
Yeah, Ivan's learned to play piano as well. He's pretty good at it now. He's getting better and stuff. He started taking lessons and stuff. But, if you want to talk into the guitar stuff, there's this convention coming around in a couple weeks, which, if you are into guitar, I'm sure you already know about it. It's called the North American Trade something, and it's like this absolutely gargantuan guitar convention where a bunch of like these really cool like famous guitarists and stuff, they come up, and like all the guitar companies, they showcase like any new guitars or amps and stomp boxes and pedal boards and stuff that they've made and stuff and designed and stuff. And all the big guitarists, they'll start designing like a custom guitar that's like fit to their like ratios and stuff, and then the company will like produce that as well if you want to buy it. Like, I don't understand what's with buying somebody else's custom guitar, because then it doesn't fit your ratios and stuff. At that point, just buy a regular guitar. But I guess they're just it's just kind of like a cool thing to have, And so, that would be a cool thing to go to, but I don't think we're going to go to it. I don't know if it's like a yearly thing. I've never really even heard of it. My dad just kind of mentioned it. But that would be really fun to go to at some point. Dad said he wants to go to it. Anything cool, just random happened to you this week?
Not really, to be honest.
Actually, school started for me Tuesday because...
School started Monday for me.
Yeah, we got Monday off, and then... Tuesday, since I got Monday off, if we're going to talk about that, I did not leave my bed the entirety of Monday. From when I went to sleep on Sunday night, I didn't get out of my bed till at least 2 a.m. And then I ate 2 Hot Pockets and I went back to sleep. And that sounds healthy, doesn't it?
Very healthy.
So I woke up at like 2 a.m. and this was like a psychedelic experience type thing. So I'd woken up and like I was breathing with my eyes closed, because I was like, I just had my eyes closed. I was just breathing. And then I opened my eyes, and whenever I breathed in, it felt like stuff got closer to me. Like it felt like it was like a fisheye effect, It felt like things got close to me, and I breathe out, and like, however much I breathed out, it felt like it got that far from me and stuff. So like, and then, like I was breathing and I was watching everything like pulse at me, and I started breathing really fast, and I swear I almost had like a seizure or something. I was really confused if I was having a stroke or something, because I stayed in bed for the past like 36 hours or something. And so that was like a really weird experience. And then I went up and made 2 Hot Pockets because, you know, when you have a seizure, the best thing to, or when you almost think you have a seizure, the best thing is Hot Pockets because, you know,
Hot Pocket.
healthy with quotation marks around that. Yeah, are you excited for any new games and stuff that are coming out?
Honestly, not really. Like, I don't know. Really, I don't really keep up with like new games that are coming out.
Yeah. I'm excited for Days Gone, which is like this really cool like zombie game that's gonna have like horde physics where there's just massive hordes of zombies that chase you and stuff. And I'm also excited for Anthem and what else? I don't know, only a couple games that I'm really all too excited for. I actually got asked to playtest Anthem, but there were no openings anymore because I hadn't gotten the email. Like, I didn't get like a real notification, and I missed it, sadly, but that would have been a really cool opportunity. I always like to I want to like actually playtest for a company, like a closed beta playtest, because like the closest I get to playtesting is early access games on Steam. And I don't know, I just kind of like it because, you know, it's like you get to give feedback to the developers and you like help shape the game as well. It's really cool. I don't know. You got anything that I don't know, you just want to talk about while we're on the gaming section?
Oh, one game that I've really gotten into is actually Dead by Daylight.
Oh yeah, I've been thinking of getting that. It's like $10 and I've got it 10. Actually, I might get it. I have a 10 in my wallet. I can go grab a gift card tomorrow or something. But yeah, if we're gonna stay on the gaming section, since we talked about it so much last episode, the Steam controller came in. It came in like midday, I guess, after we recorded the podcast, because we recorded the podcast at like 6 a.m. And so, it came in, and I'm still getting used to it, and it's oddly shaped, but it's surprisingly intuitive. The only thing that I've really had a problem with is I'm used to having my buttons so far up and to the right on like all of the controllers and stuff, so that when I'm trying, like when I'm not paying too much attention, I'll try to press A but I'll press B, or I'll try to press X and I'll press Y because like I'm thinking that those are the X and A keys because those ones are like, because that's usually where they are. And so I've got to have my thumb. So I'm training myself that like when I don't have my thumb on the like the trackpad thing, because that's the second joystick, I've got them on my buttons. That way I can figure out where they are. I've been playing a lot more of The Witcher 3 now that I have the controller, and it's been a lot of fun, honestly. And then I got Stick Fight the game, so when Hector comes over, that'll be something fun that we can do and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, I was gonna talk about something else, but now I can't even remember it. Talked about the Steam controller. I don't know. Not really anything all that interesting happened to me this week, other than, you know, school starting and you know, this psychedelic experience I had on Monday. But I am going to be getting a new mic. I really do like this Blue Snowball. It's a pretty nice mic, but I'm going to upgrade it. I'm going to get a Blue Yeti, and I'll probably have this one. See, because I've got a laptop that I'm going to be using. If I'm at my mom's, I'm going to put an editing software on that once I can, and I'm going to use the Blue Snowball with that one so that if I'm at my mom's, I can just like go into my closet and record a podcast on the spot if I need to. Like if I'm not at dad's or something. And then I can edit it there and stuff and get it uploaded and that kind of stuff. But and then I'm going to getting a Blue Yeti, and the Blue Yeti should sound way better, but I'll probably be getting that like late year, honestly. We'll see. But I'm going to be getting a shock arm for the Snowball.
I have one right now, actually.
No, you've got a scissor. I'm gonna be getting a shock one. It's like one of the suspension ones, where it's like it holds it in between like all these like bands and stuff, so that it doesn't vibrate and stuff. That way, if I kick
Also,
my desk or something.
If y'all have like any ideas, like if y'all want to know something, just leave it down in the comments and we'll talk about it in the next podcast.
Yeah. Also, we're probably gonna set up a Twitter at some point, and we'll probably before every podcast, we'll probably like an hour before, we'll probably ask for some questions or something, and probably I don't know when we'll start it. Probably on the 4th or 5th podcast, we're gonna start the premiere function. We're gonna live stream us talking before we upload the podcast. So if you want to do that instead of like watching the podcast, you guys can hear us talk, and you guys can also ask us questions on stream, which I think will be way more fun and stuff. Because like it's like it's like you're talking to us while we're recording the podcast and stuff. So it's almost yeah, it'll be fun.
But I want to try to see if we can get Rocket League working, so we can like record Rocket League.
Yeah. If any of you know how to get Discord on the PS4 to work, or just get it on the PS4, that would be really nice for us, because that would actually like be super useful. But we can't because we can't.
What have you been into lately? Like, have you anything, like, have you been into anything new?
Not really. We're talking like games still, or just like in general. I don't know. I haven't been doing anything all too much. But if we're talking games, I've been playing. I don't know. I've just been still playing random games like I normally do. I started playing Stick Fight with my little stepsister every here and there as well. And like I said, once I got the Steam controller, I started playing The Witcher and stuff more, and so there's that. But like, I don't know, other than that, I really just the same stuff. Really not interesting person here.
So how, like, was it rough at the beginning, like, of you starting YouTube?
Let's say rough, because like the first couple videos I put were the cringiest possible thing ever. The first couple of videos I had on my channel, like, this was way back when I was still terminated and stuff, and so like I had a terminated house tour, and it was the big cringe, man. My voice was so high, and then even Trey's voice was high. Like, Trey's voice was probably higher than like what mine is now at that point. And he kept like saying, he would like follow me around, and he kept saying like the T in terminated stands for Trey or something. I don't know. It was just a very cringe.
I feel like, I don't know, like, some people have to do some stupid things for views.
Yeah.
Like,
I gotta get a better schedule. Like we said in the first one, though, once Hector gets a PC, we'll definitely start uploading quite a bit more and stuff, so that'll be fun, you know. I think
I really
one of...
Go ahead.
Here, he's talking.
Go ahead.
Okay, I think one of the more games that we're going to be excited for once Hector gets PC, and one of the games that we're probably going to record pretty often, is GTA.
Oh, yeah.
Because, yeah.
GTA.
And, of course, once Hector gets a PC, you know, I'll have somebody to play with more and more often, so we'll definitely have some more stuff just on GTA and stuff. But, what were you going to say?
I honestly forgot.
I know.
To be honest.
It's, yeah, I need to get a better consistent schedule on YouTube, but if we're having like a more steady stream of content, because like I'll probably be recording with Hector a lot more. If I have a more steady stream of content, that'll definitely be easier to get it out, like sectioned, you know, like every day or something, or
Yeah.
Every other day I'll have a video or something. I think the schedule that I want to start out with is every day, like noon or something. I want to have a video. Like I'll record a couple videos every day, and then I'll like have them scheduled for each days and stuff. That would just make it like pretty easy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most like time-consuming process is editing, though. So.
Yeah, which shouldn't be hard for the podcast because they're supposed to be raw, you know.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I like about the podcasts is I don't have to edit them like at all practically. Although something that me and Hector were talking about before we started the podcast when we were getting everything set up is the background, because we need to change the background, because I don't want you guys to just have to sit here and stare at a black background, or just like, even if you're just like listening off, like you can have something else to look at instead of just like listening off and staring into the distance and stuff. So something that one of my friends suggested is like I play solitaire in the background, or just
that would be cool.
Or Hector even suggested, because like ironically enough, we're using Fortnite to record this, because this is like the only way we can do it to where Hector can use his snowball as well, because Hector has the same mic as I do. So this is the only way that Hector can use that mic, because if we don't, Hector's using his phone and it sounds terrible. So this was just like the best way, you know. So Hector said maybe we should just like keep this as the background, which I don't know, that might be cool.
Leave your suggestions, like, what you want to see, the solitaire, or just any of y'all's ideas as well.
Yeah. And another thing, for my main channel, what I want to do is, what I'll try first is I'll get, like, a green sheet that I'll put up, and I'll probably, like, put tacks in my wall, and I'll put the green sheet up, and I'll try doing it, like, to where I'm green screened into my video, that, like, that'll be my face cam instead of, you know, that. And I don't know if that works. I might just paint behind me. I might paint behind me lime green, and then I don't know, that'll be pretty fun, getting a kind of green screen setup, because I don't want to pay for like a studio green screen, because I bet you I can't even fit it back here. So but yeah, other than like, I'm going to be getting an L-shaped desk at some point, hopefully this year. Maybe around my birthday, I'll get an L-shaped desk and a second monitor, and that would make recording so much easier. Because I could have my my recording set up like on one monitor, and I could just look over and see that stuff, like all of that. Like I could see like my proper audio feed and like my video feed and my duration and all that stuff. Pretty nice, you know. And then I want to at some point get a better graphics card. Like I've got a pretty nice graphics card already. It's a 1050 Titan, I think, and well, it's only got 2 gigs of VRAM. I overclock it, and I've got the stream rate on it is pretty good, so it doesn't really matter all too much. I can go way above my my VRAM capabilities usually in some games, and it'll still work just fine. Like I run Fortnite usually on like epic settings on like everything, and I still get like 120 FPS. And speaking of that, I wish I'm gonna try and find at some point that probably sounds terrible. I just realized that I'll have to cut that out. But oh no, wait, I can't even. But whatever. I tried to click into the settings, and it just made a little noise, and it wouldn't even let me go into the settings. But that doesn't matter. I want to try and figure out how I can get my Fortnite to like go into higher frame rates, because like the cap right now is 120, and that's like all it can ever go to, because that's what the game restricts it at. I can tell my PC wants to go over 120, and I bet you it can. And if you get into like those frame rates, man, it's so smooth, bro. And I think what I'll do once I get an L-shaped desk is I'll get a really nice monitor. I want to get like a 144 hertz monitor, because those are so smooth, man. And then I'll put that one as my main monitor, and I'll have the one I have now as the recording and setup and stuff, which will be pretty nice. And speaking of, are you ever gonna come over back?
I think in the summertime I'll be over there for a while.
Permanently or something, or Or are you
like,
still just
for
gonna?
like maybe 3 months.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the entirety of summer, but yeah. But that would be pretty cool.
Honestly, like,
You have anything you want to talk about?
no, like we record these, like, if y'all didn't know, we record these really late at night most of the time. Like the last one we recorded like 4 or 5 a.m. So if we don't sound like fully awake, that's the reason.
Mm-hmm. I think it was like 6. But at the same time, there's been a bunch of studies and stuff that say like later in the night you're more honest and more like likable and stuff because you don't you just seem like you tell less lies and like I don't know what it is about that, but like
talking like this wakes me up like a lot more.
And plus it's fun. It's like cuz when it's fun just like late at night if you're texting your friends or something and you're just like talking to them, like it's just like that whole it's like that same philosophy, but like I don't know, it's almost like as if you're talking to a friend but there's like an audience, so you're like at the same time like kind of trying to entertain them, but
yeah,
but at the same time you're just talking to your friend at the same time, It's a lot of fun. Like, it's quite a bit of fun. Speaking of Ivan, he's wanting to start a podcast with a couple of his friends. So one of these days we might put him into the game and mute him, and like he can just like kind of shadow us, and just so he can see what we do. Yeah, or something like that. Leave that down in the comments if you want Ivan to come onto the podcast at some point, and just we can talk with him as well. I think I don't think the channel actually ever has seen Ivan because I only play Fortnite with Ivan, and I'm really reluctant to play Fortnite on the channel because I don't want to become a Fortnite YouTuber. I know it's not exactly a bad thing, but like. I just don't want to be a Fortnite YouTuber. I want to be like an all type of gaming YouTuber, but if I start recording Fortnite and that's what starts getting views, that's what the people are going to want to see. Like if I record a Fortnite video and that's what blows up my channel, everybody's going to think, oh, this guy's a Fortnite YouTuber or something. I want to be like a more all-around type channel, or just do random stuff as well. Like like my main focus is gaming in general, PC gaming, actually mainly, and I don't know, just kind of survival games, just random games online, that kind of stuff. I might, if you guys want to see that on my main channel, I might like every now and then, like maybe once every couple months or something, I'll upload a funny moments video from some of our sessions that we do and stuff.
Like, when you play Fortnite, you play like 4 matches and you get
Fortnite
bored.
And stuff. Yeah, I play 4 or 5 matches because like Fortnite, I'm gonna be totally honest, it's not the greatest game. Like I don't like it to the point. I mean, I like it. It's a fun game. I really do like it, and it's just it gets boring really quick because it's so repetitive. But at the same time, it's not, because like I don't know. It's a hard thing to explain, but I think you get the point. But I usually only play like 4 to 5 matches per session that me and Hector do, and so there's not all too much content that we can get out. So that's another thing. Like I said, with every couple months that we'll do a funny moments is like it'll take time to accumulate a couple funny moments from all our videos and stuff. So yeah. Other than that, I don't know.
Like if y'all want us to
still
upload like different gaming videos, like we can do like Fortnite maybe on his channel, or we can try to fix Rocket League, like the voice chat on Rocket League.
Yeah. I do really want to record Rocket League, so I really feel like maybe we can try after this podcast. We can try for like a good 20 minutes, see if we can get it to work, see if we can search up a bunch of tutorials and stuff. We'll try to get that to work, because if that works, that's definitely something that we're gonna get out like almost immediately.
It's super fun
onto the channel, because Rocket League is so much fun, man.
Yeah.
And I started
really
watching.
good.
I started watching some of the Pro League videos and stuff, and man, like, it's so satisfying, because like they can just like, even in the air and stuff, they can just control their car so fluidly into the ball and stuff. So like they can get like perfect goals, and they set it up for each other, and like it's so satisfying. And I want to get to that level of playing, but like I really don't think that's gonna happen for quite a while. Yeah, well, I mean, like, yeah, but there's still, even if we're just practicing, like, daily at that point, it's still going to take quite a while, because, like, even if we're just playing against bots, because, like, as of right now, all we can play against is bots, because we can't do online, because, or we can't create a party with each other,
AirPod memes that are going around.
because he's PS4 and I'm PC, and, yeah. Honestly, man, okay, this kid at my school, he was one of my friends. He got these knockoff AirPods specifically for the joke of it. And you know how AirPods, like, they've got the little, like, thin, pretty, like, thin little, like, I guess, like, shaft of it, and then, you know, you've got your actual pod. Well, the shaft of it is like 4 times thicker, and so they're so oddly proportioned. Cause like it's almost as if like the little stick area of it is like the width of the pod, and so it's so weird.
Yeah, but
and
like,
so yeah, there's that.
I don't think they're worth it.
And you know, there is just all the AirPods memes and stuff going around, that kind of stuff. Dude, honestly, like, okay, if you've ever worn Apple earbuds and stuff, they're not the most comfortable earbuds out there. Like, I mean, they're kind of comfortable usually and sometimes, but they're really not all that comfortable. If you're wearing them for like long times and stuff. But I don't know, another kid gave Caitlin, my other friend, his AirPods so that she could use them for something. And I had started using them. I took one, because Caitlin only took one so that she could listen to whatever she needed to listen to, so I took one, and I just kind of listened into whatever she was listening to, and she was listening to this really weird music video that I don't even know the name of, or whatever any of the lyrics were, because I never was actually paying attention to it. And then so Ivan, he had the case of the AirPods, and he found the button on the back that, you know, you use so that you can like disconnect it from stuff and things. And so Ivan's like, what does this button do? And he just starts spamming it. Or no, actually, Ivan just like pressed it a couple times. And then Josue came around, and Ivan asked him what the button did. And he's like, oh, that just disconnects it. Don't touch it, or don't press it a bunch of times, or else like the little light inside the case will turn white, and that's not good. And I was like, and I immediately grabbed the case out of Ivan's hand and started spamming the button.
You would be the one to do that.
Because that's just how edgy I am. And yes, quite. I don't know. You got anything else you want to like?
What I really want to get
can talk about
is the keyboard that makes the clicking noise. The Razer keyboard.
Yeah. I wanted to get the Razer Huntsman, which is like a super expensive keyboard. But like, you know, like I said, it's a super expensive keyboard, so I don't know, we'll have to see about that at some point, but I don't know.
Not really, to be honest. But I just
got
really
anything
want to
else?
like, thank them for like. I just want to thank them for like 11 subscribers, dude. 11 subscribers, and yeah.
in a single video, man. Like, and like, it's not even just like I got 11 subscribers from like the 7th video on the channel or something. No, the first video on the channel. That's insane.
Yeah, that's about it. Like,
but yeah, I think something I'll do for the background on this podcast is Camtasia, the editing software, has just a bunch of these little like animated, like just kind of things that I'll probably just put in the background and see how well that works. We'll see. But I don't know.
Honestly,
What are the random
we've done
stories?
so
Or
much.
just
You
random
remember that
things
one
that
time
we've done?
we were like hanging out your mom's car? It was freezing cold.
Oh yeah. Okay, so this actually wasn't even all that long. I think this was like the second to last time you came over. Me and Hector down this road, we were sitting on the windows, or like we had stuck our bodies outside and we were sitting like our thighs were on the like the window sill area, I guess, and we had like our arms on the top of the car and we were sitting out. And this was a terrible idea because it was like midnight because we were going to get my brother from his band trip, and so it was like midnight and it was freezing. It was absolutely freezing. And because we're idiots, we decided that was a good idea. And so we got back in and we were very, very cold. And then this happened a different time, but we were doing the same thing. We were stuck out, and this was like quite a while ago. And we'd pulled up into our driveway, and my mom just like slammed on the brakes, and we slid from one side of the window to the other side. And it scared me so much, man. I thought I was about to fall out the car. And it was right onto this gravel stuff, so I thought I was about to fall out onto like this really sharp gravel and stuff. This is like, and it's not like really like fine rocks or anything. It's like the sharp gravel that like there's big chunks and all this stuff.
Yeah.
If we started talking about AirPod memes, you want to just talk about all the random other memes that have circulated for a while now? Just talk about 2018 in general. Yeah, speaking of, I've got a project in one of my classes that I have to think of 20 of my favorite memories of 2018. And honestly, I can't remember half of 2018 because 2018 felt like 3 months. January being like the longest of that, and then it was like November was like 3 days, and then December was just like 10 or something. I don't know. It was 2018 went by fast.
I feel like it's gonna feel weird
least.
saying 2020 next year.
Dude, that's so weird. And think about it. The year 3000, which just sounds weird saying it, like, you know, instead of, because like we say 2019, but like just saying 3000 or 3019, just saying it with like the 3 at the beginning sounds so weird and different. And then, okay, 3000 is 81 years away. With the advancements that technology is making and medicine and stuff, we probably will. Exactly.
No, not really.
Now, do I want to live that long? Probably not. Because, like, that... Oof.
I know.
Do you imagine how entitled people are going to be in the year 3000? At least most people. I don't know. There'll still be, like, those, like, just random people that still listen to 80s music and stuff, and I'd probably be one of those people. I don't know, speaking of music,
just saying, like, I listen to
kind of tastes do you have in music right now?
It's like not rap, it's like lyrical.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. There's mumble rap, which is nowadays rap, and then, you know, there's actual rap, and then there's, like, the...
It's like
lyrical rap, I guess
Juice WRLD.
I don't know. But I don't like the mumble rap crap,
like,
yeah.
A lot of different... I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, have you seen the new Spider-Man, dude?
There's
Oh
Peep.
my god, it's so good. Oh.
No, I want to see. I'm learning one of the
Yeah, I
songs
listened to
from.
Post
I'm
Malone.
learning Sunflower from the new Spider-Man, but I still haven't even seen the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I've been listening to Sunflower on repeat for the last like week now. It's a good song, man. I've basically memorized the lyrics at this point. I don't know. We're at just just over 3/4 of an hour, 45 minutes.
It was 51 minutes and 49 seconds.
I think our last episode was like 50 something minutes, 56 or something.
They don't have to be the same time.
Yeah.
They don't they don't all have to be the
Wait, what?
same.
I was
time.
drowned out there. Yeah, cause I mean, some things will happen. Like maybe one week something big will happen, like we'll go on a trip or something, and maybe the next week like nothing big happens. But in careers class, which is a new class that we're like forced to do because, and it's like the only class that we're actually like learning like life skills in right now, like, you know, proper things that, you know, would be helpful for actual life past you know, middle school. And like it's fun because in that class, you know, it's not like the teacher just tells us to do something and we do it on the spot, or like, because like majority of the things like that we're doing, which we should have probably done in the first semester, but we messed around a lot in the first semester and did all the projects and stuff. And she just kind of gave us these 3 or 4 of these career clusters or whatever they're called that we have to finish these little research pages by the end of January. So just like whenever we have time or something, or if we want to finish all 4 of them when we get home or something and do that, we can. And then we just have free time whenever we have, or whenever she gives us time to work on them in class and stuff. I don't know. I like teachers like that. Speaking of, do you like or dislike any of your teachers and stuff?
They get annoying sometimes.
Oh, okay. Let's get into this. Okay. If we're talking about teachers and stuff and disliking teachers, did you ever have Miss Hyatt? Miss Hyatt despised me. We had a mutual despise, like, I don't know what you call it. We hated each other. Let's say that, to say the least. Like, people say hate's a strong word, but like, you didn't see the relationship I had with that woman. And so basically, I don't know, she would keep, okay, so we were 8th period, the very last period of the day. And, you know, teachers, like, they'll keep students after the bell, like I don't dismiss you, the bell does. And that's all cool and good as long as I'm not late to my next class or something. But Miss Hyatt, us being the very last period of the day, the last school bell of the day rings. School is officially out. The bell doesn't dismiss you, I do. She's leaving us, or she's making us stay after school. I almost missed my bus once because of her. I did, and I would have kept doing it, but my dad got mad at me. So he wasn't even mad about the fact that I left. He was just mad about the fact that I was disrespecting the teacher, which, speaking of, later in the year, he really didn't care what I did to that teacher. Like, I could have done it again and he probably wouldn't have cared. And so I had to like make a bunch of excuses. Oh, I was just mad or something that day. I was like, no, I just hated your class and I wanted to get out as soon as possible. And this was closer to the end of the year. This girl across the table, she had her phone out and she was literally playing on a game. It was actually like pretty loud too, like the whole class could hear it. And Miss Hyatt, or actually she wasn't playing on her phone yet, but Miss Hyatt goes, I'm gonna go help this other teacher set up for her baby shower or something. And I really don't know if that was what it is or if it was a party or something. And she's like, if you guys are good, you guys can leave when the bell rings. And then she walks out and Sydney immediately gets on her phone and starts playing this really loud game. And so like my phone, at this point it feels really, really hot in my pocket. Like I was just waiting, and if my phone feels really hot, so I pull my phone out. It was on for like the last hour, and it was on like 6%. And so I turned it off, so that way, like, if my dad texts me or something, I can see it. And I put it back in my pocket. But as I'm putting it back in my pocket, Miss Hyatt walks in, looks at the girl sitting, playing on a game, sees me putting my phone in my pocket, and decides that she's going to get mad at me for putting my phone in my pocket. And she looks back at the girl that's playing on her phone, and then comes around the table. And you know, like that, like the trademark teacher, like where they've got their hand out, like they're trying to hold like an invisible platter, and they do like the give me that thing, like, you know, the taking up, like the cliche teacher hand, you know. She's like, give me your phone. And I was like, why? And she was like, you had it out. I pointed across the table. I was like, are you actually serious? And she's like, she's not the problem right now. I was like, am I the problem? Because like, what was I doing? And she goes, just give me your phone. I was like, I was turning it off because it was on for like the past hour and it was about to die. And she was like, well, why was it on in the first place? I was like, because it hit something in my pocket. I don't know. Why are you on me? Like, oof. And she just like, she sits there and she contemplates like trying to send me to detention or something. She's like, but it's the end of the day. Like, he's gonna be there for like, he's not even gonna make it before the bell rings. And so she just goes and sits back down at her seat. And oh boy, she looked mad. And I was just sitting there like, are you kidding? Like, why are you mad in this situation? Like, what do you have to be mad about right now? And another oof. Okay, so Miss Hyatt sent me to ISS. She almost got me kicked out of theater productions. And I swear, if she got me kicked out of theater productions, I would have thrown something at her. It could have been a chair, or it could have been a pencil. It was probably going to be a chair if I got kicked out of theater productions.
Who's that?
And I was on the last straw with Miss Compton, too. And the reason I was on the last straw, the last time I went to ISS, and yeah, Miss Compton didn't like you. And so, the last straw, apparently, for her, or like I had at this point I had like 2 more chances. But Miss Hyatt, I had my head down because I was waiting for her to say like, what were you gonna start doing? And she goes, Joey, sit your head up. So I sit my head up and I yawn. Like, I take a big breath. I'm like, and she looks at me. She's like, did you just like sigh at me? And she looked so offended. And I was like, what did I do? And she was like, go sit out in the hallway. And I was like, what do you mean? And I was like, anything? I don't got to do anything in this class. So I went out and sat in the hallway. And I started throwing paper because I was bored as actual. Like, I had nothing to do out there. She didn't give me any work or anything. She just told me to go sit out in the hallway. And she never gave me anything or anything. And so I was throwing stuff. I was just throwing paper and I was going and getting it. And I was just throwing it again. Like, I mean, I was picking it up and stuff. And Miss Hyatt walks out and I threw it at a kid because he had walked by and I didn't notice it because, like, I was going to throw it and I turned because Miss Hyatt opened the door and I, like, pelted this kid in the face. And, and she was just like, she had, like, her hand on her chest and everything. And Miss Moore was walking by, who happened to be my 8th grade who was, because she left. I'll explain that in a second. But Ms. Moore was walking by, and so they both walked me over to the office. And Miss Moore and Miss Hyatt were like, guess what? Miss Moore was like, guess what? I'm your new teacher for 8th grade, so I'm already gonna have like a grudge or something on you. Miss Moore's the first teacher that has liked me since the 4th grade in English, like in the English lab and stuff. And can you guess what? So, you know, none of my English teachers have liked me since the 4th grade. Miss Barber hated me. Let's see, who was, Miss Alvarez was pretty nice, and she liked me. And then, 6th grade was Miss Laws. I never really liked Miss Laws, and Miss Laws was just kind of on the edge about me. She lost like 8 of my papers and almost got me held back in 6th grade. And in 7th grade, you know, there was Miss Hyatt, which I just explained a couple stories of, and there's way more stories that I could do right there as well. And so, Miss Moore's the first teacher that's liked me since 5th grade, I guess, actually. And so, Miss Moore left after the first semester. And it made me like so sad because, you know, she's like the only teacher that's ever liked me. Because she went through the first semester and her husband got a job offer or something, and that's why she moved. And, you know, that's all fine and dandy, but like we got this new teacher. Her name's like Miss Falcon or something. I don't know. And she's actually pretty nice. We'll see about her though. But yeah. Another thing about Miss Hyatt is we read these books. They were these like so you know, I was expecting, because I was in English language arts pre-AP, so you know I was expecting we were gonna have to read a couple books and stuff. But Miss Hyatt picked the worst possible books to read. The first book we read was called The Phantom Tollbooth, and if you've ever read it, I'm sorry. It's so bad, man. It's so trash. It's so boring. It's so terrible. And I never got past page 70-something in that book, and she said we were going to do a project on that, and we did, and I still got a pretty good grade on it. And then I don't remember what the second book was, but it was also terrible. And then the third book at the very end of the year was Murder on the Orient Express, which some people think is like super duper good, but it's terrible, man. I hated it. It was so bad. It was so boring. It never got to the point, and it was so bad. And we were supposed to do a big project on that, but like we didn't get to finish it before the year ended, and I never got past page 62, man. That book sucked. You got any like teachers that you have hated over the years or something? Other, you know, than Miss Hyatt? Or actually, do you have any stories? Yeah. Dude, okay. Do you have any stories about like any teachers that you've hated that have done really stupid things before I go on a rant about Miss Barber as well?
Like everybody hated her. Everybody disliked.
She was so
like her
terrible.
son was cool. He was cool. Like
everybody did.
We're good.
Honestly, like her kids are pretty nice and stuff. Like one of her daughters, I don't know if she has more than one. Well, whatever. Her daughter is in 6th grade or is in 7th grade. She's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, what did your friend say about?
I don't talk to her or anything, but
like what they say about it?
What do you mean? Just like, Zach, Ivan, and a couple other people watched it, and they. I don't know if Ivan watched the whole thing because, like I said, he gave me a couple things that he thinks should be better, so that way we could like try and retain audience, which was the background and, you know, like being interesting at the beginning to keep us in and stuff. And so, yeah, that was just kind of the feedback that I got from most of them. But for the most part, other than that, it was pretty much good feedback.
Yes.
And now, Ms. Barber, we both had her, and so Ms. Barber was my 4th grade English teacher. Ms. Barber, it's a teeter-totter between which one I hated more, Ms. Barber or Ms. Hyatt, and it's kind of leaning towards Ms. Barber because Ms. Barber sent me to DAP, which is Detention Alternative Education Detention Camp or something, and so she sent me to DAP because if you go to ISS 12 times in a single semester, you go to DAP for 45 days. And that was like the rule. And, you know, I knew that and stuff. But Miss Barber, I would complete everything I needed to do for the day. And so, you know, I wouldn't have anything to do. So I'd just be sitting there doing nothing. Or I'd read a book or something. And so Miss Barber took that as me just not doing nothing, like I hadn't done my work or something. So she sent me to ISS 12 times because I, quotation mark, wasn't doing my work, quotation mark. But I had actually finished everything. I had good grades in that class. And she sent me to ISS because I wasn't doing my work. And she knew I was doing my work. She was grading them, and I was getting good grades. But right around the 11th time, the ISS teacher started taking sides with me. Or right around the 10th time, the ISS teacher started taking sides with me. But, you know, still, they couldn't do anything because the 12th time hit, and I got sent to DAP for 45 days. And I'm going to be totally honest with you. I liked DAP more than school at that point. Because, you know, dude, when I was in DAP, that was the only time when I was actually, like, properly physically fit. And that was because I worked out every single day of the week. Twice, every day. And so, like, if I could get back into that schedule, I'd actually be in good shape. Which would be pretty nice. I'm not in good shape right now, to say the least. I've been working a lot more with like me finally actually getting back into athletics. That's another thing we want to talk about, is because of my back issues, which I don't know if I've explained on the channel. I have a pars defect and a couple other things, so that's kept me out of athletics for the longest time. Hey, we hit 1 hour. That's pretty good. And so that's kept me out of athletics for like quite a while now. And so just last semester, I give it probably a quarter into the semester, I finally was able, or no, I guess it was just around the start of 8th grade first semester, I was finally able to get into athletics. And I mean, I still can't do everything in athletics. I can't do like burpees and stuff, and I can't do weighted squats and stuff. But I've actually kind of been getting slightly more into shape. I need to start eating better.
I challenge you to do 30 push-ups every night.
But yeah, I know. Okay, so a challenge that I've been wanting to do with you specifically, but the thing about it is like neither of us can check if we are actually doing it, is like every hour we do 15 push-ups and 15 sit-ups or something. But like I don't know, maybe like next time you come over we can do that for a couple days or something. I don't know. But there is a challenge for 30 days. I think it's the challenge you're thinking of, or you've just got it mixed up. Is for 30 days you do 100 push-ups every day. Like, it doesn't matter if you do one every 10 minutes or something, but you just have to do 100 every day for a month straight. I don't know. And then you I guess you just I don't know, you probably want to do also 100 sit-ups. That way you're a little bit more evened out. I think a good thing for just if you want to do something like that would be 100 squats, 100 sit-ups, and 100 push-ups would be a pretty well-rounded thing if you just want to do that. Ivan's on. I actually want to see if we want to get him into the podcast, see if he's got some stories. Real quick. Let me text him real quick. Actually, I think we're going to cut this bit out. That way I can actually call him. That way I can get him on pretty soon. Okay, so I'm going to pause it real quick. Okay, guys, so we're back. Ivan isn't going to be in for this session. We might record a second session. But we want to get one more story in, one-ish more story in before we go ahead and stop the podcast. But something that had happened a little while ago, I guess it was November-ish last year, I'd gotten into game development. I started using Unreal Engine 4, and I still kind of am into game development, and I need to start working. Me and Ivan had started working on a game. Ivan wasn't actually working on the game, but he was working out some of the other details and stuff, and I was designing the game, which was actually pretty fun. And then we kind of set that project aside, and we were gonna make a mobile game that way, and it was gonna be 99 cents. That way we could try and get some funds for the main game, which I'm not gonna disclose anything about because I do want to keep that under wraps. But the mobile game was gonna be an endless runner type thing where you had to get to the top of a tower. It was an endless thing, but it was a 3-lane runner type thing. And I might even make it more than 3 lanes if I need to. Might make it 5 lanes or something if I want. And basically, you switch between the lanes and stuff, but there's going to be traps. It's going to be completely different from any runner that I've ever seen personally. You'll have weapons and there will be enemies, and there'll be the obstacles. There's traps. There's just random obstacles and stuff. And there would have been traps and stuff. And enemies, but the main mechanic that would make it different was the fact that you could shoot back at the enemies. The enemies, there'd be warlocks, wizards, random melee goblins, skeletons, that kind of stuff, and you could shoot at them and stuff, or you could use a melee weapon, a long ranger melee weapon, a katana or something, and you could do that, and then you could every here and there'd be between every floor there'd be a merchant that you could buy new gear and weapons and armor, and you could refill your health and stuff. And if you died, it wasn't too big a penalty, because I mean starting at the beginning, if you're way far up, that's what the heck, man. So you just start before on the floor before or something.
How far did you
and
get
if you purchased gear before, you'd still keep it or something, kind of like a rogue stuff. I'm gonna be honest, I got to lane switching and just about forgot about it at that point, because I need to get back into that. And like once Hector gets on a PC, maybe it'd be a cool thing. Like we could both like start developing a game and stuff. It'd be a little team or something. It'd be really cool. Very. Like I said, I'm not going to disclose anything about the main game, but I will say one thing. It will be for Xbox, PC, and PS4 once it's done. It'll be an all console thing. Sure. That's something, if I'm developing a game, it's going to be for all 3 consoles. Because I don't want to leave anybody out. Yeah, if I do, because online is a whole different monster when you're tackling game development, and I've realized this, but I don't know, maybe it'll be a fun thing. Give time, you know. But other than that, I don't think we really have all too much to talk about, unless Hector wants to say anything different before we go ahead and end.
That's happened. Yeah.
And a little bit more too, quite a bit more actually. I'm surprised we got to an hour and 5 minutes actually. So I think we're gonna leave this podcast here. If you guys did enjoy this, leave a like, comment, or subscribe. Another thanks to the absolute great feedback that we got on the first podcast, and hope we can get this feedback on the second one. So we hope you guys enjoy this one as well. So we'll see you all, I guess, Friday or Saturday next week.